The following podcast may contain coarse adult language and is not recommended for younger listeners. Hello, welcome to this new short form, long form series. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but I'm here today with CJ, and we're going to be talking about ponies again. We did this a while ago, and then one day I was bored, and I was like, hey, CJ, wanna do it again, but like longer this time? And he said, what are you doing in my house? And I said that's not important right now. Get your microphone. We've got work to do. And he said, okay. So here we are.
He did it via using a gun on me.
Thank you, JJ. I did not. It was a pellet gun. They're harmless. Come on. So
I guess we could just. Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, I don't know what to begin with this. Okay. Hi, I'm Blue 15 Bomber, aka CJ Correos.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the first season of MLP.
Yes.
Well, at least the first for 4 episodes, because like I considered the first 2 episodes a first episode. Mm-hmm. So yes.
Yeah.
Would you like to begin it?
Yeah. So we've got the first episode, and we meet our protagonist, Twilight Sparkle. Your average Reddit 4chan user in pony form.
Lean.
So she's a recluse. She doesn't like going out. She wants to just stay inside and read books all day, which is lame. That's stupid. So her mentors.
We're not much better anyway.
Yeah.
Because we look at the computer.
Play video games. Yeah, so her mentor's like, hey, don't do that. You're go make some friends. And she's like, no, I don't want to. And Celestia, her mentor, she's like, well, I'm going to make you do it whether you like it or not, because I'm the princess and you have to do what I say. And she's like, damn. So so she goes and she meets these ponies. So we've got Rainbow Dash, who is the tomboyish rainbow lesbian athlete. We've got Applejack, who
stereotypical
cowgirl.
Yeah, that's something along those lines.
So then there's Fluttershy, who is basically like, she's really into animals at like an uncomfortable amount. Like she's just really, really into animals.
She's also an introvert.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, her name says it all.
Yeah, and then there's okay, so let's see. We said Applejack, Fluttershy, Rainbow Dash. There's Pinkie Pie, who is just
annoying. I'm sorry to say. I'm going to say something.
Yeah.
I guess it's controversial, but holy cow, Pinkie Pie is really annoying in the early episodes.
Yeah.
I think, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know.
You're not. I don't think you're wrong. That sounds about accurate.
She's a good character, like in later episodes of season 1, but
she is. But like, yeah, she's just, I don't know. In the first, she's kind of, I don't know. I think there are some instances where she's really cute and she's just a really great character, but then there are other episodes where she's just absolutely insufferable.
Oh, like episode 4, I think, where she just tries to sing, but they had this running gag where like she's a terrible singer, I think.
So okay, we got to go through and we got to talk about the plots of each of these episodes, or otherwise we're gonna just end up on a tangent. So, all right. So the first episode. So she goes. Oh right, there's Rarity. I forgot about Rarity.
Oh right. No, don't forget Spike.
We forgot about Spike. So Spike is like a baby dragon, and he's like Twilight's adopted brother / son, as it's later revealed. I'm not sure. It's one of the two. It's not like an incestuous thing. It's like she hatched. No. Well, no. The reason I'm saying that is because they're like, oh yeah, later she says Spike's my little brother, but then in another episode she says, oh yeah, when I was a filly I hatched Spike out of his egg, so that would technically make her Spike's mother, but then also older sibling, but like, so that's weird.
I have to say that we're skipping one important information that we skipped, is the opening scene that explains everything.
Yeah.
And you think that this first episode would at least have a long arc about this story. No, it gets resolved in the second
So
episode.
there's these two sisters. There's Celestia, and she can raise and lower the sun, and then there's Luna, and she can raise and lower the moon. And she's all butthurt because everyone likes Celestia, and they don't like her.
Honestly, I'll say this, Luna. I think Luna got it the best because, like, she as she has been revealed later on in the seasons, is that getting all the attention is pretty bad.
Yeah. So she tries to stage a political coup and overthrow Celestia. And Celestia's like, nah, you're not doing that. Bye. And she banishes Luna to the moon for 1,000 years.
Why 1,000 years?
I don't know. Because arbitrary long-term punishment.
1,000 years does sound more serious than 100 years.
1,000 years. So assuming each of these ponies lives, what, like 70 years? That's at least like 10 or 11 life sentences.
And also, this also ruined Luna's reputation.
Yeah. So, like, everyone... Basically, everyone's against Luna now, and Luna, like, no one likes her. And so...
Well, that's not entirely accurate, but yeah.
So she comes back. She comes back, and she's Nightmare Moon now. She's basically been possessed by a moon demon or something. I don't know.
But I'll say that... I'm going to say this. We should... Okay, I don't know where to begin. Is it Nightmare Moon we should talk about? Or should we talk about
so Nightmare Moon, formerly Luna, she's back and she's out for blood, and so she's gonna turn everything into nighttime, unless the elements of harmony can be put together to stop her. What are the elements of harmony, you ask? They're MacGuffin.
Deus Ex Machina.
Deus Ex MacGuffin Machina, and so.
They seem to be a thing that, like, throwing rainbows at people equals solving the problem.
Yeah, just solve the problem with violent rainbow death lasers. That's how we solve this problem, ladies and gentlemen.
I will say that I guess we should start talking about the first two episodes.
Yeah.
You know. So
so
want to start your thing?
Yeah, so Twilight is sent to Ponyville. She meets the girls. And so then they're all just hanging out at a party one evening, and Twilight's like, fine, but I don't like you guys. But whatever. So they're hanging out at this party, and then Celestia is supposed to show up and, like, raise the sun, because it's basically like a solstice, like a summer solstice festival, is what it is.
Yeah.
So she's supposed to be there, but she's not there. Instead, it's Nightmare Moon. And Nightmare Moon is like, ha-ha, gotcha,
they never explain what happens.
They never explain what happens to her. She just kind of disappears.
We just, like, some people speculate that Luna captured her before she even got here, I guess. That makes no sense now I think about it in retrospect.
So Luna's like, I'm gonna raise and it's gonna be nighttime forever. If you need, all your crops are gonna die. And so now it's up to the girls to go and find the elements of harmony and stop her. So they go on this magical, mystical forest journey, and they meet a bunch of creatures and solve a bunch of friendship problems, and they grow pretty fond of each other. They're like,
I don't know why. I'm sorry to interrupt. Like,
no, it's
this
fine.
episode kind of paints Twilight like as a opportunist, like, person, because, like, she doesn't really become friends. It's more like, these are my friends, I guess.
These are my friends now. This is fine. This is fine.
Even though they knew each other for, like, a day.
Yeah.
And then apparently they're not, like, friends forever.
So yeah, they.
I don't know. It kind of feels kind of clunky, like, when you think about, like.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the first episode. I just wish they kind of planned it out better. Like, hey, maybe Nightmare Moon was actually an overarching villain. You know.
Well, I mean, she's not an overarching villain, but she does kind of, like, come back later.
I know, but, like, she kind of has potential if they actually put some thought into it, but they didn't. Because, like, hey, this is actually a slice of life, I guess. It's a weird beginning, because, like, it doesn't really tell you the full show. The first episode does.
Yeah.
But episode 2 doesn't, because, like, it has some adventure.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of ignore it for, like, the rest of the season about the elements of harmony in Luna, because they didn't really plan it out.
Yeah, so they gotta go find the elements of harmony. So they find them. But then Nightmare Moon shows up, and she's like, haha, I got you again, and she just breaks the elements of harmony. And so now it's like, okay, now what's gonna happen? And then
I guess we're friends.
Twilight is like, maybe the real elements of harmony were the friends we made along the way.
Along the way, literally.
That's literally what happens. And so,
it's literally that phrase, but it comes into physical form.
Yeah, and so every single one of her friends is like an element of harmony now, and then
for some reason
they sort of just form this like circle jerk hug and kill Nightmare Moon and turn her back into Luna.
Yeah.
And then Celestia shows up and she's like, "Hey, I'm back."
For some reason, where'd you come from?
I don't know.
You will never know. Will never know as an. It is never. It's
never explained. It's never established where she went.
I don't give a shit.
We'll
about
never know.
People's.
The world will never know.
I don't care. I'm sorry. I don't care about people's headcanons. What happened to Celestia? It is never explicitly explained.
It really isn't. Like, we never find out what happened. It just kind of. There it is.
Hey, at least I guess after this episode, Twilight decides, oh, you know what? I'd like to stay here, even though this caused me a lot of a headache.
Yeah.
Or something.
So Twilight decides to stay. Celestia's like, okay, you can stay. And then the next couple episodes. So the first season of MLP is very similar to the first season of Steven Universe in that they both are spent mainly doing slice of life things and establishing the characters. Like,
I will argue that there is big quotes, by the way, an arc. There's an arc. There's like a little thing they kind of build up, like the Grand Galloping Gala throughout the show, at least in the season. So there's that, but
yeah, there is that.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I mean, I don't know. The Grand Galloping Gala is really only discussed for like what, one episode, and then
2 episodes.
Oh, 2 episodes. Well, no.
Don't forget the other episode. There's the episode with Rarity, who was making the dresses.
Oh yeah. There's that episode.
But that's it.
Yeah. So okay. So then we've got the next episode, which is the Ticketmaster. So in this episode, Twilight is just hanging out doing her Twilight thing, and then Celestia's like, "Hey, want to come hang out at the gala? Here's
how many grapes?
Here's 2 tickets. Have fun." And so Twilight's like, "Okay, cool. I guess this is happening now. But I need to choose which one of my friends I want to go with me. But oh no, I like all my friends. I don't want to choose between them." And so yeah, this episode, nothing really happens in this episode.
I liked it. I liked the episode.
Yeah, it's a cute episode, but nothing really happens. It's just kind of.
I mean, it's a slice of life.
Well, yeah, it's a slice of life, but I mean, like.
But then again, we're not expecting anything from a pony show for family, you know.
Yeah.
But I will say, I did mention this when we're watching the episode again, and I remember watching someone mention that this episode used to star Big Mac.
Big Mac.
Big Mac was supposed to be the one who had the ticket, and then every main 5 were trying to harass him for the ticket and shit, or the second one. But I guess it was it didn't make it, so they had to make it to Twilight instead to have this lesson.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. I just think that, I don't know, I think the thing I did not like about this episode is where it began the freaking. Dear Celestia thing, and it has to beat you over the head about the moral.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, and since we're rewatching this episode, this is my 3rd time watching this season. Oh boy, it's gonna be fun hearing that crap again.
Which, on the subject of Applejack is a stubborn mule. That's what Applejack is.
A racist. Man. That's racist.
That's not even racist. It's literally factually, she is just very.
It's just been said.
She is very stubborn and stupid. That is Applejack. She's like, oh no, my big brother who runs our family business is injured. What am I to do? I will do the whole thing myself, and I'll do it in a week, even though.
No, this is the 4th episode we're talking about now. We just skipped the 3rd episode.
The 3rd episode, right. So,
the 3rd episode.
See, I knew I would get caught in a tangent sooner or later, and that's what just happened.
Yeah, I want to say that even though the 3rd episode doesn't really do anything, I think the moral is that ask someone about it, even ask people about if you have some favorites, bring them along. I think I botched that fucking.
Well, I think another. Well, I think it is nice that this episode is basically like, you know, it's okay to not have favorites. In fact, it's probably preferred that you don't have favorites, because generally, it's not a good idea to have favorites. Like,
and you'd consider be a dick.
Yeah, it's kind of a jerk move to have favorites. But everything gets resolved in the end. So Twilight's like, well, if I can't go with one person, I won't go at all. And so she sends the tickets back to Celestia, and Celestia's like, oh, lol, my bad. I forgot to send you the other 5 tickets, 6 tickets. Here you go. Don't
forget, I forgot how, like, Spike.
Oh, yeah.
Was written, like, the early seasons, like, dang.
I am a dragon, and I am a boy, and that is my defining character trait for the first season.
Don't forget that Big Mac was also silent. That's also another stereotype for men.
Yeah. Well, apparently, silent generation, yeah.
Yeah. Like, then again, this show has at least... We should mention that this show has at least gotten better with, like...
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Representation. Like, the fact that the ponies, the female characters aren't treated like girly stuff is surprisingly really cool. Like,
I think that's why the show appealed to so many people. I remember... At one point, I was taking college courses for a while, and I had to do a presentation on a subject of my choice. So I stupidly decided to do one on the history of the brony fandom. And so I'm going and I'm researching this thing. And
you make an adaptation of it for Movie Force.
Well, yeah. So I'm going and I'm researching this thing, and I find screenshots of the original 4chan threads discussing My Little Pony. And, like, that's how the whole brony fandom thing started. Was, like, you had the TV board on 4chan, and they were discussing, hey, I think My Little Pony is about to get based. And so...
It got based.
And My Little Pony got based. And so they're like, this isn't a stereotypical girly show. This is, like, violence and fighting and stuff. This is kind of cool.
No. This is your stereotypical family show. It went from one peg up.
Yeah, like this isn't your mom's My Little Pony. This is like
your dad's
millennial My Little Pony. This is kind of cool. And so then they started talking about it, and they just began discussing My Little Pony incessantly, and it annoyed the 4chan Jannies like so much that they were like, just
let's make fun of them.
Well, no, not even that. Like they were like, can you stop talking about My Little Pony here? You can have your own like board. We'll give you a My Little Pony board. Just don't talk about ponies anywhere else. And so then they sort of had to. They made the MLP board on 4chan, and that's where all of like the pony discussion is sort of relegated now on 4chan.
I will say that what's even funnier to me is, like, I remember, like, back then, news were fucking calling out bronies.
Yeah.
They were calling him gay or whatever. Like, it's like, oh my god.
That's the funny thing, is, like, that's the funny thing, is that the brony fandom has been called all sorts of horrible things by both sides of the political spectrum. Well, no, because at first it was, oh, this is gay propaganda. And then in 2019 it was, oh, the bronies have a far-right Nazi extremism problem. And it's like, what? Like, what is going on?
How did we end up here? Yeah, that's the beauty of the brony fandom. Is like you managed to piss off both sides. I will say that what's even funnier to me is that the show is... I like the fact that the show is, like... Watching a couple of first episodes, like... They're not the greatest, but they're good.
Yeah, it's like... And it's cute, it's interesting, you might stick around, but it's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really excited to check out the other episodes.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say that... I guess, like, the funny thing is, like, we can't even talk about anything but the first 3 episodes. We've been, like, it's been talked to death by so many YouTubers. So I guess we'll move on to episode 4, like, the most overly talked about episode.
Is episode really the most overly talked about episode, though? Because, like,
Applejack season?
Is it? I wouldn't say it's the most talked about episode.
Well, no, I mean, like, when I mentioned that is because, like, you know, Abridged series have been, like, doing these adaptations over and over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane.
Well, yeah, especially with, like, seasons 1 and 2, but particularly season 1 of My Little Pony, were just endless fodder for just parody after parody. There's at least like 10 different abridged series based off of My Little Pony, and every single one of them, it just covers season 1 to some degree.
That makes sense. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
And I like at least 3 of them have all covered the same episode.
Mentally Events.
Well, yeah. They all covered Applejack season, which is the next episode we're talking about.
Yeah, Applejack season. So it's like the most mocked. I feel like it's like, I don't know, Ticketmaster was mocked, but this one's the most mocked, I feel.
Yeah.
Because how freaking stupid it is. Because the thing is, the episode like kind of has like the rules of, like, it broke the rules of threes, you know, like in comedy you need like the rules of threes. Yeah. It kind of went overboard, it kind of dragged, but like, you know what, hey, it's a show for family and crap.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
So you've got, so going back to that, you've got Applejack, and Big Mac, her big brother, is injured. He can't work the fields. So she can't she's really the only one that can do it because her grandmother is too geriatric to do anything. And Apple Bloom, her little sister, is like literally a child, and her tiny body will be crushed under the weight of all the apples. So,
oh shoot! We forgot to mention Apple Bloom.
Well, Apple Bloom, like, yeah. Well, I mean, she doesn't really do anything in the first 4 episodes.
In the first, yeah.
I mean, she shows up for a frame in like the first episode,
and then you just kind
which that's a weird thing too. Is like, so they show like she shows up with Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo, and they're all huddled under a table in the first episode. But
wait, seriously?
Yeah. So they're all huddled.
Hold up.
Yeah. If you go, and it's like when Nightmare Moon comes and she ambushes the festival.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they're all huddled together under this table. But then later on in episode 12, they act like, oh, I've never seen you before. What's your name? My name's Apple Bloom. My name's Sweetie Belle. I've definitely never huddled with you under a table before.
I guess you could argue that it was just coincidence that they met, and then like, oh,
well, yeah, but you'd think there would be like some sort, like, this is jumping ahead of it, but you'd think that later on there'd be that recognition of, I know who you are, but there's not.
MOP is known for its not so good continuity. You know?
Yeah,
continuity is kind of non-existent because, like, you know, it's a slice of life, so who cares? I honestly feel like that was more like we have these assets, so let's use these for this scene where Nightmare Moon talks to kids, you know?
Yeah. So where were we? Applejack season, right? So
Applejack season. It's an okay episode. I consider Ticketmaster at least better in terms of comedy.
Yeah.
Applejack is just like, you're just waiting until you hear Applejack admit that she kind of sucks at this.
Yeah. Which Applejack, like, there's not really much to talk about with Applejack season aside from it's important to put aside pride and ask for help when you need it, which this is a lesson that I constantly have to relearn over and over again because you have to
watch this episode on loop.
Well, no. I mean, like, even like in my own life, like this, like, I'm a very prideful person. Like, if I'm running low on money or something, I don't like asking for help. I prefer to just keep quiet about it and just write it out and hope for the best.
Well, swallow that pride. I don't want you living under a box.
And so I hate having to ask my parents for help with rent. And I always end up doing it anyway just because they're like, why didn't you ask us for help? And I'm like, because I don't like being a burden. And they say, you're not a burden, you're our son and we love you. And I go, okay. I would like some help then, please. And, like, I say it very sheepishly because I'm still ashamed to ask for help with rent. And so, yeah, like, that's this, like, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Putting aside pride sucks.
I will say, like, what's even funny, like, did the first 2 episodes even have a moral? I think the second one was, like,
the moral of the first 2 episodes was...
get a life.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it. Loser. That's what happens. Get a life, loser. Look at this nerd indoors with her books. What a loser.
I just realized that most of the first season really centers around Twilight. They really pushed the idea that Twilight is the main character. Have you noticed that in the first 4 episodes? It will kind of occur more in the later episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, these episodes aren't really mind blowing. They're really just decent.
Yeah.
I guess because for one, I've watched these episodes 3 times. I've been stuck in this season for 5 years at this point, and I have not even reached the season 2.
You've just been rewatching this season on a loop for the past 5 years?
Yeah, because I've been I want to get in a marathon, and we never really got a chance to freaking watch more of it, so I have to rewatch it with my friends.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I hold you to getting through this thing then.
Yeah, it'd be better.
So,
all right,
but yeah, on the subject of going back to how this episode is relentlessly mocked by the fandom.
Is it really okay? There's other season 2 episodes, obviously, but for the season 1 episode, I feel like this one is the most mocked because
what Applejack season?
Yeah. When I think of season 1 Abridged, it's always this one.
It is.
It's always this one.
And what's funny is that I can recall what I love about Abridged series, going off on another tangent, what I love about Abridged series is that they're always able to take the exact same footage and they always turn it into a completely original or different story. And I can distinctly remember what each story is, even though the episode is always exactly the same one.
All right, let me ask you this question. Do you remember Witchcrafts, Mentally Advanced, and Scooter Tricks?
Okay, I remember Mentally Advanced and Scooter Tricks. I don't remember Witchcraft. I do remember Friendship is for Adults.
Oh, yeah.
I do remember that. And so what happens in Scooter Tricks is the town is put under curse by these cows, and the only way to fix it is with apples. But Applejack...
And by the way, Applejack believes that these are mangoes.
Yeah, so in Scooter Tricks, the Abridged, Applejack is lying to herself and convincing herself that she's not farming apples, she's farming mangoes.
Mangoes.
And so her whole...
We don't want to spoil why.
Her whole thing...
We don't want to...
Yeah, so we're not going to spoil why. But her whole thing is that she refuses to help the town because she's not farming apples. What are you talking about? There's no apples here. It's all mangoes. And so that's the plot for Scooter Tricks' version of the episode. Mentally Advanced, I don't even remember what happens. I think
it's something about taxes.
It's something about taxes, and then Applejack.
And it depends.
Applejack is
depends on which version.
Well, Applejack is just hanging out and getting drunk, and it's something about taxes. And then at the end, she's trying to help Rainbow Dash, and she jumps off the platform and snaps her neck.
Can we mention
she just jumps off the platform and snaps her neck, and that's the end of the episode.
Can we mention? I want to mention that about that when Rainbow Dash gets launched. How Rainbow Dash leaves the city, right?
Yeah.
The village, but apparently lands in Twilight's library for some reason.
Yeah.
The way it was animated. I guess she didn't leave the Ponyville.
Yeah. And so that's what happens in Mentally Advanced series, and then in Friendship is for Adults, they recontextualize it. And the way they do it is not like any of the other Abridged series do it, which so it's Applejack was caught selling bootleg Apple products. Well, no, stay with me. So she's caught selling bootleg Apple products, and she's sent a cease and desist letter and a lawsuit. And the only way to get around it is to be experimented on by Apple, by the company Apple. And so Apple is we need you to wear this microchip for a week, and it's going to be implanted in your brain. And basically what's going to happen is it's just going to pump music nonstop based on what your mood is. So the music
that sounds awful.
The music slowly gets louder and louder to the point where Applejack is pushed to the brink of suicide, just to make the music stop.
The way you describe it sounds insane.
It is.
But
it is. And so she's pushed nearly to the brink of suicide, and then she's saved by Twilight, just in the nick of time, right before she's about to do it. And
I want to mention that I like the fact that we're having a tangent over Abridged than the.
Well, yeah, because there's more stuff to talk about with the Abridged series.
There was a part where AJ poisons the village. That was something.
Come on. Okay, so she poisons the village because she doesn't get enough sleep from mining apples, from harvesting apples.
And there was no consequences.
There's no consequences for her actions.
This is a family show. This is fine.
She causes a town sickness pandemic, and nothing is learned aside from it's okay to ask for help.
the final straw for Twilight was the fact that bunnies came and ate some crap or whatever, caused a ruckus. But I guess that's kind of the joke.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well, I guess that's all we can say for these episodes. I'm sorry, but like
that really is.
There's like the thing is like we really want to talk about more about these episodes, but I don't know what to say.
So
it's been said before about other people, like even Ticketmaster's really just It's okay. 1 through 2, it does set up the lore, but I don't know what the fuck to say about that. There's nothing much to say there.
Yeah, the first season is pretty uneventful. All it's really, the purpose it serves is to introduce characters, and that's about it. So we introduce all the characters. They learn a couple cute life lessons, and then they all go to a dance party at the end of the season. And that's what
I will say. Well, there's one thing I want to say. There's like one thing that really bothers me is like again, like you could have done something with Nightmare Mood or the Elements of Harmony, but they didn't do anything about that up until the second season.
Yeah.
Which, if I remember correctly, it was greenlighted. And also, even though this show has been praised for at least targeting for older audiences, I hate. Well, like this is the first season, but like I hate the fact that I mentioned this before, but they freaking hit the moral over the head, and which is really sad because like for a show like that you would think they would do something smart about it, but no, they don't. And the funny thing is there's a show that does that where it doesn't hit the audience over the head. It's called Thomas and Friends.
Yeah
At least early seasons.
How is it that Thomas and Friends had more nuance in the way it taught its lessons than My Little Pony did?
And it's much shorter.
Especially with the episodes being shorter.
Yeah, I've been considering to even show you this show after like doing MLP, but that's another time for another day. But whatever.
So okay, we've talked about these episodes, and now we need to give them a rating.
I guess we can use this tier list rating. Obviously, these are not going to be in the worst episode of season 1.
Well, yeah, I mean these aren't the worst episodes.
I'm going to say this. So I guess if you show on screen.
So I'll
do you have the tier list up?
So I've got the tier list up, and so we're ranking from best episode of season 1. Those are the top episodes. We've got like our favorite episodes, which are like we admit they weren't the best, but they're still sentimental to us. We've got like the decent episodes, which are like okay, nothing to write home about. Least favorite episodes, they're still good, they're okay, but we don't really like them very much. And then there's just the worst episodes of season 1.
Oh dear! I can't wait till we get to the worst.
I would put the majority of these. I would put the majority of these in decent. I think.
I would say for me, I'm gonna say Tickmaster is my favorite. It's a pretty fun one. Nice lesson. Though Pinkie Pie was really insufferable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the second episode's a decent one. Applejack's decent. It kind of got old. I will say the first one, it's my favorite one. It's a favorite because like it's a cute one. It's a really cute one. It has established the lore. It does it really well. I think the first episode really did these characters really well.
Yeah.
Albeit maybe like Pinkie Pie got the short end of the stick because like she barely appeared.
Well, yeah.
What do you think?
That sounds about right, honestly.
What about yours? What about your tiers?
I wouldn't change anything, honestly. That sounds about right.
Just decent?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well, I'm honestly just like...
They're all just kind of decent. Like, they're not great. They're a good start to the series, but I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, this is the best episode of My Little Pony ever.
Yeah, they're something. Not. And like, we're going to get there. We're going to get, like, I hope, like, we watch the next 3 episodes. Oh wait, never mind. Those aren't the best. Like none of the 3 episodes we're gonna watch are my favorite. Oh goodness.
Yeah. Well, I've been like working on the thumbnails and like organizing them by every 4 episodes. So the next episodes that we would be focusing on are 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna rip 6 a new asshole.
Which one is that's Trixie. I want to bring Jack on for that episode. I really want to get him in for that episode.
I'm not gonna hold back. I'm gonna be honest. I am not gonna hold back.
I would love to see you and Jack argue about this episode about episode 6. That would be funny.
Episode 6 makes fucking Gilda look like a saint. That's how bad it is.
Is it though? Like,
No, and you know what's worse? It's written by the Full House creator. You know, the one who's the guy who got accused for sexual harassing or whatever. Oh,
wait, dear. The guy who wrote for Full House wrote
this episode. Yes,
no.
The creator of it. Yeah, and that's the cliffhanger we're gonna end on.
Okay.
Well, everyone, we're gonna end it here. See you, everyone, and thank you for listening for our terrible podcast.
Stay tuned. There's more to come. Much, much more. This is gonna be a long adventure.